What is up, everyone? Welcome to the No Life Tech Show. How is everyone doing? Hope you guys have enjoyed the content that has come out of this show so far. Hope you guys enjoyed the gaming show from yesterday. Trying to keep things short and sweet, not too short. Someone was a little worried that we're going to be making these shows like short on purpose. We're really just trying to cut all the fat out, give you guys some of the best news stories and better discussions. We don't want to kind of have fluff in there anymore just because you don't want to listen to that. I want to listen to the good, juicy stuff. So we got a ton of tech news today, though. This is probably going to be a little bit longer than last week's. A lot of interesting rumors, a lot of Google stuff. And there is some interesting crypto news on the horizon that we'll get to at the end of the show. But without further ado, let's bring on the co-hosts. What's up, dudes? How was your weekends?
What up?
Yo.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just chilling mostly.
Same shit.
Slept in mad hard on Saturday. Didn't get up till 3 p.m.
Hell
Really?
yeah.
It was bad.
Really? 3 p.m.?
Then I saw Deadpool on Sunday.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good.
That's out already?
Yeah, it came out on Friday.
Oh, shit.
If you like the first one, the second one is just as good and a lot gorier. It was a lot more violence.
Was it funnier?
It was equally as funny, but there were a few bits that like were directed straight towards comic fans. Like if people who just, didn't like really catch all the comics, they might not get some of the jokes. But like there was plenty of like good jokes for everyone. Except for children.
What if
Don't
I'm
take
a
your kids to see it.
What if I'm a big fan of Comic Sans? Are there any jokes like that?
I feel like Deadpool's font of choice would be Comic Sans.
Yeah.
That
That-
actually fits it.
That or like Stencil. Some like
Or
far out one.
Or Wingdings.
Yeah, or Wingdings. No, I like the first one. I wasn't the biggest fan of Deadpool. I didn't think it was that funny. But it was a cool movie. I'm not as crazy about it as some people are, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's just straight over the top. So like, there are things that I laugh at when things are, when they're just, I explain. It's just so absurd.
Yeah.
Even the level of violence is, it I don't want to say the word transcends because that sounds so douchey, but it kind of like lifts over that hump where it's like, ew, to I have to laugh because it's just so goddamn violent.
Yeah, that's cool though. I like that kind of stuff. The thing is with Ryan Reynolds, I just watched that movie Waiting so many times that I can't picture him in any other role, especially like a superhero role.
I mean, he was kind of like it's probably the most perfect role that was ever made for him. He gets to be that same smart aleck, wisecracking jackass that he is in Waiting.
That movie's so
But
good.
now with superpowers and a completely gray moral code.
I just feel like I just want to watch Waiting now. I fucking love that movie. It's so stupid. That was a good movie though.
I mean, the movie's good. Like, Waiting is a great movie if you have intimate knowledge of the bullshit food service industry.
Yeah. I think everyone kind of has a little bit of knowledge of the food industry. It's just exactly like that. Like the lower end, what was the name of the place? Shenanigans?
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like working at like a Applebee's or something. Yep. Anyways, I wanted to bring up two things that I saw. One, Safe on Netflix. It's by Michael C. Hall, who is Dexter, and he's British. It's like in contemporary London. Awesome show. It's fucking insane. It's like crazy insane. It's not very believable, but it is a great show. Go check it out. It's a nice little binge watch. If you got nothing to watch, you'll just binge right through because it's a pretty good thriller, and it kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat. It's like one of those shows you just have to know what the fuck's going on. But the next thing I want to talk about, so I was watching Philly DeFranco's show today before the show, and he featured this thing called Who Wants to Be a YouTuber? I don't know if you guys seen this, but what happened is this kid who has like 400 subscribers created like over 1,000 videos, right? And basically it's a game show. So he asked you a question, and at the end of the episode, like when you get those blocks that come up to choose which video to watch next. Well, he
The
used
cards
that,
or whatever.
Yeah, he uses that as answers. So you go to. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. You go towards the end, you listen to the question, and you see there's like these little 4 things, and you choose an answer. Here, the question number 1's an easy one. Who's the most subscribed YouTuber? So you would click on, your answer. So it's obviously PewDiePie. You click on it, and that takes you to another video where he has that actual fucking like answer, and then he asks another question. And he has all these videos because he has every single combination, and there's 3 lifelines for every single video. So it's absolutely insane that this kid went through the work to put all this together, and it's pretty difficult. I got to like question 5 and I couldn't answer anymore, but I do want to like play through it. He's already got like he already got like over 1,000 subscribers now that he was featured on Philly DeFranco. But check it out, it's fucking crazy that this kid did this. So it's like any question. We'll go to this one. You'll see there's like 3 little things at the top, and those are your lifelines. And he has all these videos that are kind of coincide with all the lifelines and all the different questions that you'll have, or different scenarios that you'll be in. It's really, really cool, and highly recommend everyone check it out, because it's, this kid put a lot of work into it, and you don't want to miss that. So, fuck, man. I can't even imagine doing something like this. That's pretty cool. All right, that's all I had to do. Check out Safe on Netflix. It's interesting. It's a pretty fun ride. All right, let's get into tech news. Some ton of news. YouTube. There's an article that came out from Morgan Stanley that gave YouTube a valuation of $160 billion, which is bigger than pretty much almost everything. It's bigger than Disney. It's bigger than Comcast. It's bigger than Netflix, which makes you just kind of understand the scope and size of YouTube and how powerful YouTube is as a platform.
There's over 2,000 people with 1 million plus subscribers.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And remember, this is a Google sort of property. So I can't even read this fucking article because you have to have Business Insider Plus. But basically, they evaluated it if it was its own separate company and not attached to Google.
If it's not interesting, just the alphabet, we made this much, and won't tell you what actually is from what.
Right. So they're making shitloads of money. So you could see where, Netflix makes a lot of money, but they also produce a lot of amazing content. Like, they pay for it all. They spent billions and billions of dollars last year just on content alone. They want people to, have a reason to subscribe, and they have no problem, finding weird people to put on their stand-up specials, or finding like weird indie shows to put up there. They're just looking for everything. And then it makes you scratch your head like, what the fuck is YouTube doing? You know what I mean? What was the latest thing that was cool out of YouTube? Cobra Kai? Have you guys seen that? It's like this cheesy, it couldn't have cost them more than, I don't know, $1 million.
All of their original content's pretty meh.
It's kind of like sad, like the state of YouTube right now. And then you look at them and you're like, they're making shitloads of money. They have a huge valuation, Oh,
you mean like YouTube themselves, not the content creators on YouTube? Because that's the hard part, is like, what's YouTube actually got to do? Do they really have to make original content?
Right. Exactly.
That's not the draw.
Right.
Obviously.
That's exactly my point. I don't think that, I don't know, whoever is heading YouTube right now in terms of content and direction, they're not doing a very good job. Focus on your content creators, because they're a fucking gold mine for you. You know what I mean? Like, sure, Cobra Kai was cool, but how many Cobra Kais are you going to get if that's kind of the audience you're looking at? And then they're censoring, like, one thing too about Cobra Kai, by the way, there's all types of shit. There's drug use.
Look at any of those like YouTube original content, things like that. Yeah, there's almost everything you can get away with that you can't get away with as a normal creator.
Yeah, it's like, special. They have special treatment over there if you're paid. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of, you just scratch your head and you think like, what the fuck are you doing, YouTube? You know, you have this amazing platform that people have to use it. There's no other platform. You know what I'm saying? There's just nothing else.
Done this, like, yeah, I don't envy whoever is the head of YouTube. Because, like, also, I'm pretty sure, like, the greatest moment this year so far has been Fortnite. But it's also probably been his most agonizing moment is Fortnite becoming huge.
Yeah.
Because there's so much cesspool content out there that they have to, like, actually go through and try to demonetize or monetize or etc. Because Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah. I mean, if they cleaned up their monetization efforts where, you know, people who they have adult content or they have like, you know, just whatever, any type of content you want, you know, you can monetize it, but have like certain ways where the bullshit just doesn't get monetized. That way, you know, if you are an adult themed content creator, you can still monetize and not have to worry about fucking YouTube shutting your channel down. Or, you know, I don't know. I feel like they just have this amazing platform where basically all of the work is done for them and they still don't know what the fuck they're doing. They keep fucking it up. And you see when they have this $160 billion, you know, estimated valuation, you kind of scratch your head because Netflix is fucking awesome. Everyone loves Netflix. You know what I mean? I haven't talked to one person who doesn't like Netflix. They have, you know, everyone usually has Netflix and they enjoy it.
I mean, honestly, I think one of the best things they could do, which they've dabbled with, but I think like Float Plane or the Vessel, like they need their version of it, and actually stick to it. Be like, hey, here, dude. Okay, here is a way that you can, you know, like the sponsorship stuff for the stream, like if you do live streaming.
Yeah.
Like do a thing where it's like, cool, you can just like, this is now a featured thing on this person's page is like, cool, you can give them $5 instead of going through Patreon or something, some other third party.
Yeah.
They should come up with a system like that.
Yeah. Why aren't they doing anything about that shit? That's the biggest complaint that content creators have. Bigger content creators who are making money on the platform. You know, they want to know, like, why can't we have a better way to monetize our content and we're not having to worry about ads? No one wants to worry about ads. You know, channels are very quick to take down ads if they have revenue sources elsewhere. So it just goes to show you that it's just they don't know what these content creators want at all. And it's kind of a sad state right now for YouTube because everyone is just waiting for another platform. If there's another platform out there, like imagine if, and I think we talked about this in a previous show, but imagine if tomorrow Apple had
about it every week.
Apple had a fucking video platform on every iPhone. That's it. Goodbye YouTube. We're all moving over to fucking Apple Video. You know what I mean? It's just we're dying for one. We're dying for a new YouTube alternative.
We are, but I still don't think that would be the death knell. Like that's the hardest part is like even if everyone switched, every single iPhone user switched to that, you know, that's still not even half of the percentage of YouTube.
Yeah, but I think it would because like Vimeo, for example, it's been around for a while, but it just doesn't have a user base that can compete. You know, the iPhone does. The iPhone has a pretty big user base that they can take advantage of. Just the sheer number of iPhones out there. Now, anyone, you know, if they allowed anyone to upload to it, that would help even more. But I just think right now, you know, it's just that's where all the content creators are because there's really no other choice. As soon as like PewDiePie leaves and like even smaller ones like I don't know, like H3 Podcast and Donkey and stuff like that. Yeah, and everyone starts to trickle away. Then you have no choice. It's like I want to go watch those.
It would have to be a max exodus at once from all of those big guys, because like that's they have a monopoly. Like there's not really any other way around it.
Yeah,
and they have a monopoly just because that's where everyone goes. It's not. That's the problem. Is that's where everyone goes.
Yeah, and that's also makes me scratch my head too. It's like. Don't advertise, or doesn't YouTube like know that they have a monopoly? So why are they like clamoring for advertisers? Dude, it's like where else are they going to advertise on video content? You know what I mean? Of course they're just trying to scare you, YouTube. You know what I mean? You put your ad on a ISIS video. Oops, you know, say you're sorry, but they're not going to go anywhere. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on with YouTube. I think it's crazy that Morgan Stanley evaluated him that much. But I guess it makes sense because that's what happens when you have a monopoly. You're valuated at hundreds of billions of dollars. All right, moving on. I want to talk about the Razer Blade, the new Razer Blade laptop. I'm super hype on this. I was literally looking at Razer Blades yesterday. I was looking at the 2017 version. I was like, I kind of want like a laptop, a Windows laptop that I can game on, that I can use Premiere Pro on, and take this PC that's here now, put it as a home theater PC, because it's starting to get to that point where, you know, I'm a few generations behind on my CPU. The graphics card works great, but everything else in it is sort of kind of aging a little bit. So instead of building another PC or just getting all these new parts and, you know what I mean, maybe I'll just get a gaming laptop that I can kind of travel around with from the office and home. And I like the MacBook Pro because I like Mac OS and I like the form factor.
No,
it's
I
light,
know.
small.
Mac OS, you have the same problem that I did. Mac OS is fantastic, but at the end of the day, I want to play PUBG.
Right, exactly, dude. I want to fucking play PUBG, dude. I don't want to fucking stream. Even though NVIDIA GeForce Now is pretty cool, it's not native. I need native PUBG. So, I don't know. I think I got my answer, dude. I think I'm going to get one of these bad boys. They're fucking sick. So, spec-wise, there's 3 different screens. There's a 1080p 60Hz version, which is their cheapest model. Then there's the 1080p 144Hz version, which is awesome. And then there's a 4K. There's a 4K option, which is, I think it's 60 Hertz, but it's 100% Adobe RGB color gamut, where the other ones are 100% sRGB. Another cool thing about the screen is that it's pretty much bezel-less, but not completely bezel-less, so you still get your camera at the top, which is awesome, you know, if you're fucking doing video chat.
Yeah, that is nice, because a lot of that's Dell. I think the Dell XPS 13 was doing that for a while, where it had it at the bottom, and it was just like, why? Like, I mean, I get why, because there's no other place you can put it, because that screen's fucking gorgeous, but still, why?
It's goofy. It's super goofy looking.
Like, if I had that, I would just have to take my you know, the C930 here with me everywhere in my bag, because I wouldn't be using that.
No. But they did it. They were able to slip a little fucking camera, 1080p. I don't know what resolution it is, but they slipped a little camera in that tiny little bezel up there. Dual front-facing speakers, which is always nice. I love them when they're on the outside, right on the front like that, not shooting underneath the laptop, which makes no fucking sense. It's super thin. It's 0.66 inches thin. It is a 15.6 inch design, so it's a bigger laptop, which kind of is like, you know, I have a 15-inch MacBook, but Kate has the smaller version, the 13-inch, and that's like a really nice size for travel. But that's okay, I guess. You know, this is meant for content creation and gaming, so a bigger screen's okay. Aluminum unibody design, and then here's the nice stuff in it. It's got the 8th gen Core i7. It's a 6-core processor. I don't know the exact specs on this right now. And then it's got an option for a GTX 1060 Max-Q or the 1070 Max-Q, which is pretty dope. So 1070 Max-Q is around a GTX 1060 desktop performance, maybe a little bit more, which is awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, with that, you would be able to play whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but even with that though, I would get the 4K screen, because even with a 1060, I mean, I guess if it's 1080, the 144 would be okay. But I just feel like you're gonna be pushing that, because it's not G-Sync or anything like that. It's 144 or not, and there's gonna be plenty of games where you're gonna be like, you know, it's getting 120. But you know, it's not going to be hitting where you're going to want for 144. I don't think.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
I could be wrong. But...
The G-Sync is there's no G-Sync, so
well,
I mean, that helps with battery. That's about it.
Exactly. No, that makes sense, because actually a lot of people that craze is like already died after 2 months after it started, mostly because it kills your battery.
Yeah, really badly.
Yeah, because really it always badly. The GPU always has to be on then.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the thing. Is like, do you go 1080p 144 or do you go 4K? I probably will go 4K route. mainly because, I mean, a 4K screen, 15 inches just looks awesome.
And I mean, yeah, and if you're doing content,
yeah, that 100% Adobe is awesome.
It's that, and then it's just more important than 144 hertz.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play games with it only, then yeah, 144 is better. But
yeah. It's a pretty stacked laptop, dude. You got one Thunderbolt 3 port, so you can hook up whatever the fuck you want to that. Mini display port, full HDMI 2.0, and then it's got a bunch of USB 3.1 ports. I mean, it's a solid lap. This is like, it is a 720p webcam. But this is like this is like if Mac was able to play games, this is what you would get. You would get something like this, and that would be fucking phenomenal. This is the closest thing you can get to that form factor and feel. And it kind of, I wonder why other companies don't try to really tackle this type of sleek design. There's a lot of those Max-Q laptops that are out that just look absolutely insane.
Yeah. A lot of, I mean, if they're going after gamers, they always do this stupid gamer crap.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are definitely other nice options out there, but not for gaming. Like the MateBook, the Huawei MateBook X or whatever, just got released in the US at really competitive pricing, which is kind of cool. And I mean, that looks great, but I mean, that's an MX 150. Who cares?
Yeah, that's the one thing about this thing that kind of makes me a little bit nervous about getting one, is that it's fucking insanely expensive. So for the 512 version, they don't even have the 4K version up to buy right now. Or you can't even buy anything except for let's see. You can only buy nothing. There's nothing for sale right now, it looks like. But the 1070 version with the 1080p 144 is $2,400. You're spending about $2,500 on that thing. And I'll probably last you a year before you want a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's why I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I'm like, dude, I'm really hyped right now on this new $300 Chromebook that just came out this week.
Oh man, that's the thing too. It's like, I know that a lot of people have problems with Razers. They seem to have a lot of issues with their laptops. And
yeah,
I don't know if I can afford that laptop and then have it kind of fuck up on me.
That's why I get really hyped that, I mean, crap, dude. I'd almost say go build a mini ITX system with that.
I mean, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking about doing something like that I can lug around, because I'm just going here to the office. And anywhere else, if I'm traveling, like on a plane, going somewhere, I'm bringing the MacBook. I'm not bringing anything else. But for gaming, from here to the office would be perfect. So I was thinking I can do a little mini ITX build.
I mean, if you're going for that price point and it's just mostly just gonna be left in your office, yeah.
Ah, man, money. Wish I was rich. It's a nice lappy though. If you're looking for Max-Q, man, this is a good option. Razer does a good job. I guess that unibody design, you got to pay for it, and that vapor chamber cooler that they got on there now. All right.
Which what the fuck does that even mean?
I have no fucking clue. It's just a big copper. Big copper heat plate, I guess, is what it is.
Yeah, it's just a giant heat sink, but no, dude, it's the vape chamber.
Dude, it's that vape nation.
That vape chamber, dude. Yeah, I have no idea what it actually means, but oh well. All right, so this is OSIC headphones. It seems as if they took everyone's Kickstarter money and left and fucking just peaced out. This is their website, osic.com. So I was looking at their Kickstarter. If you don't know who OSIC is, because I didn't know either. They basically were creating headphones that created the first 3D audio headphones calibrated to you, which is not true. There's other headphones out there that do that. I don't know where they came up with this idea that they were the first, but I don't know. Maybe they did something a little bit different. But it doesn't matter because it doesn't exist.
Well, no, they sent out like a limited run to first backers.
Oh, nice.
So maybe there's like 100 that exist.
And then after that, I guess they folded it up. They said they spent all their money. OSIC X was an ambitious and expensive product to develop. With funds from their crowdfunding campaign, along with angel investment, we were able to develop the product and ship the initial units. However, the product still requires significantly more capital to ramp up full mass production, and the company is out of money. Over the last 18 months, we've explored a myriad of financing options, but given VR's slow start and a number of high-profile hardware startup failures, we were unable to secure the investment required to proceed.
This is also a $400 headphone.
Yeah. Strictly meant for, I guess, VR. This is a VR headphone thing. Which is cool, but they're not going to be the ones to do it. It's going to be Sony. It's going to, you know what I mean? It's going to be a big headphone manufacturer. Bose.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things too that like that's my problem with a lot of these Kickstarters is like I know the point of Kickstarter is to make some cool, wacky product that like we don't have yet, and that's would be really cool, but like you got to have it in a reasonable expectation. You got to have a reasonable goal.
Yeah.
Like if this is your goal is like you want to make a sweet 3D headphone or 5D, whatever bullshit they called it, like that does take a lot of research and development. You have to hire a really solid dev team to actually program that and make that. Like that's a sick goal. Sell a good set of headphones first.
Yeah.
Make money off of a good set of headphones so you actually have a company and backing and money where you can actually pay, like afford to pay people to do this.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, hey, we got to hire like 100-person dev team and they all expect a salary of $100,000. So give us some money and we'll figure it out.
And I want to know like exactly like if the person who created this idea had any industry experience in headphones. You know what I mean? That's just like, you don't just jump and say, I'm going to start making 3D headphones. There's a reason why we haven't seen many of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it takes a lot of fucking money to make. Of course your shit's not going to work out. Unless you kickstart, you know, $1 billion, which is never going to happen. But there you go. That's some business advice for you entrepreneurs out there. Start a business first before you fucking go crazy with some crazy design. All right, moving right along. The OnePlus 6 reviews are out. Here's one from The Verge. It looks pretty dope. It looks like a nice kind of Android phone. It's, you know, strong competitor. Got a nice little camera on there. I mean, it's got everything you kind of want out of a phone, but there's a big problem with it. Not many people can use it. There's no fucking Sprint
Well, I mean,
or
half
Verizon.
the US can. Yeah. So half the US can, half the US can't.
There you go. It's not
I
many.
know.
That's a terrible way to release a product. You know, if only half the people in the sector can use it.
This is their like 10th phone, and they're still doing more than good enough. So
Yeah,
I guess it works. But
who's buying all these one? I don't see one plus.
I know a lot of
ever.
people. Well,
I've never seen one in person.
really, I've seen a couple, not a 6, obviously,
Yeah.
but like I saw a couple of the originals, and I saw a couple of like 3Ts and stuff like that. Because I mean, if you normally use a network that uses it, there's not much of a point to, like, if you're gonna buy an Android phone, at least, there's not a point to really buy a more expensive phone than it.
Yeah.
Like what OnePlus has always done amazingly is like it hits the boxes of good enough above average that puts it competitive enough where it's like, all right, it's not a Pixel or a Samsung S9, but oh hey, it's half the price
Right.
for like 80% of the performance. Yeah, you're like, why would you spend the extra twice the price for like a 10% better phone?
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. I just never have seen one. I've never seen anyone have one. And maybe it's because there's no Verizon or Sprint carriers, and that's kind of what's dominated right now. There's a lot of other services out here.
$580 gets you 8 gigs of RAM and a 256 gig storage on a pretty good phone.
And it looks great.
That's insane.
It's a good looking phone too. It's not like an ugly, Motorola.
And it has a headphone jack.
And it's got a headphone jack. I mean, it's got everything. It's got everything you want in a phone. And it's a great price. So it kind of makes me wonder, how they've been able to stay afloat for so long. Because it's got to be an expensive phone to produce.
Well, no, they've been getting better. They've been getting better and more expensive to produce. but like when they first started out, they used cheaper parts. They were closer to mid-range than they were high end, even though they called it high end. But like originally too, like it was all plastic or like, you know, cheaper materials and the build quality, things like that than they currently do. And that's why they've been rising in price every time a new one's out too.
Hopefully when 5G starts to roll around, they're able to hop on that band and not have to worry about all this kind of split up radio bands.
And I mean, it's also, I believe the company's based out of China. But I know in other places of the world other than the US, they do sell quite well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably where a lot of their money's coming from. So it's pretty cool. If you're an Android guy, check it out. If you have
AT&T or T-Mobile.
Yeah. And I know Sprint and T-Mobile are teaming up, so maybe there'll be something there. All right. The Google Selfish Ledger program. This was a leaked internal video.
I think this is hilarious.
It's crazy. So
the video, it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, the video is this creepy kind of dystopian future about your data and how necessarily or not necessarily how data is attributed to one person, but you know, an entire generation of people. And
well, yeah, it's going off of
carry data with each other, you know?
Yeah, it's going off of like the theory of evolution before we really finished it. Like how we it was one of the first, it's based off of like the ledger idea, and that was one of the theories of how your genes get passed on before we like really figured out, okay, this is how evolution went or whatever, and this is how, you know, your DNA actually works. It was one of the theories for DNA,
which it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? It like decision making and behavioral attitudes. It kind of makes sense that they're sort of passed down from person to person. And essentially, if you can quantify that now in the modern day through all of this decision making on the web and all of the behavioral psychology that goes on throughout the choice that you're making online, tracking that, you know, we'd be able to amass this gigantic fucking library of, you know, behavioral DNA, which is insane. But I think what's so scary about it is that it's Google. It's fucking Alphabet. You know what I mean? This isn't like some altruistic video that just kind of, it's not like just someone thought this up. It wasn't like a philosopher thought this up. This is a private company.
Right, but that is what it was. That's what Google has claimed it was a thought experiment.
Do you believe them? Do you believe them? This is only just a thought experiment?
Honestly,
Kind of makes me wonder, dude.
I mean, like, obviously it does influence it, but yeah, no, I think it probably could have easily been a thought experiment. Because, like, I mean, that's been especially with companies that deal with bigger data, like that is a constant ethical quandary. Because, like, I don't know, at least among most developers I know, you know what I mean? There are, to an extent, of like ethical dilemmas you do kind of think about and just like want to play with to see, hey, is this a good thing we're doing or a bad thing?
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the same time, the problem with that kind of stuff, though, too, is while you can be having these thought experiments and things like that, it's ultimately probably the call of the guy above you who probably might not be having thought experiments.
And I think what interests me the most is that we're already far gone in terms of data collection. Like if we were really worried about one company collecting data, we would have stopped it in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like we're way too far gone now. So if they did want to implement something like this, they could do so immediately.
Yeah.
You know, they could do so immediately. And that's kind of what scares me a little bit.
No, that is scary.
You know, they could have all the best intuitions in the world, but a new CEO comes in and all of a sudden he wants to fucking have a library of everyone's behavioral data.
Yeah,
You know?
and that is entirely terrifying. But that's why I have to until it's proven wrong, and I think that's actually going to take a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like someone like can actually prove that, hey, no, this is apparently the grand operating plan or some bullshit. Like it is, to me, it is just a thought experiment, because like you have to have those when you're a team of thousands of fucking people.
Mm-hmm. And I think what else was interesting too about it is that if you think about data and how a company could serve you based upon your data, like Facebook ads and advertising in general. I mean, is there anything like really dire about having a company sort of serve you better in that respect? You know what I mean? Like they were talking about how on The Verge they were saying that Verge piece about it. He was saying how, they would collect all this data and they would just basically know it would want to collect more data about you, about your weight. So an AI would design a scale that you would enjoy, a design that you would like, to persuade you to buy it just so it can collect that weight and further kind of give you better products.
That part was terrifying to me, because that's why, yeah. Like, I mean, and that's where that's why I think some things like this are kind of really important, because to me that is kind of scary, and I don't really like that idea morally. But other people obviously think the exact opposite, and I think it's important to have kind of videos or like weird shit like this to have that discussion, because I don't like that. I think that's where you start going too far if you're like, okay, I'm trying to use my data to figuratively make products for that person to then get them more into my system. That's where that gets worse to me than just like, hey, I know they like watching their weight, so I should suggest scales.
Right.
If you're taking that and then you're like, okay, now I have to make a scale that I know they'll like, so they'll buy it so I can get that data. That's when that starts getting really kind of fucked up.
And it's an AI, so it's going to do it the best. You know what I mean? It's going to have the best. It's going to be the best at it. It's always going to get better and better, and it's always going to give you the best sort of, persuasions. And that's not, I don't know if we should be fucking around with that when it comes to AI. There's no human element to it, and it kind of gets a little crazy, but it's definitely interesting, man. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah. No, like if it's now out there, so if you guys should go find the actual video and watch it, because like it's definitely disturbing.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. It
opens your eyes too to a lot of what your data really is, because it does make some interesting points about who we are as a people and what data means to you.
Yeah, no, I thought a lot of that was actually kind of interesting too, because it's similar to how we view privacy too, because in a lot of ways it's really easy to argue privacy's new. Like privacy's only been around a couple of 100 years. Like before that, you'd like having your own bedroom. Like we didn't have our own bedrooms till 1800s. Like after that, you know what I mean? Like, so there is, yeah, dude, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting road to go down and like really dig in deep into.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. Google AR headset, aka a new Google Glass. I don't know what Google's doing with these AR headsets. What happened to Google Glass? Actually, there's a pawn shop that used to be right across the street from my office that had a Google Glass unit that you could buy on the top. And I was thinking, like, maybe I'll just check it out. I kind of want to check it out, but never did. And then the company went under. But it looks like they're developing another AR kind of ARM-powered Google Glasses thing.
I mean, sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like some of those things are kind of cool, but it's never going to be relevant until they figure out a way to design it that it looks good, but it also costs $100 and not $1,000.
Yeah, that, and also I mean, if you're gonna go down like a consumer route, then you got to make it look good and, like you said, cheap. But in like enterprise or industry, I could see that being useful. Like what
I guess that would be like
Microsoft was doing.
the Microsoft HoloLens competitor.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it'd be cool for enterprise, I guess. Sure, why not? I mean, it would, like, some of those applications are pretty cool, like for factory lines and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hopefully they can expand on that, but I don't know. We'll see. We saw what happened to Google Glass. It was a very ambitious project.
I mean, it's fucking Google.
Yeah. They have
So
much shit
it'll be
going on.
alive for 2 years and then it'll be gone.
Yeah. Or like this, they'll come out with a different version that's completely different. All right, so this is an interesting story. A bunch of Google employees quit over controversial Pentagon work. So there's this project called Project Maven, where Google and the Pentagon reached an agreement to come together and use Google's AI in military operations. And a lot of the Google employees left for ethical concerns. There's a lot of hippies that work over at Google. And now I think...
and this is why I think it's a thought experiment.
This is super interesting because, I mean, it's like you have this company that says here that stated nearly 20 years ago, Google has been known for its "Don't be evil" motto, and then as soon as you get into military, you are an institution. You know what I mean? Then you become this institution, and you
that's
can't
also why they're
cross
not
back.
mystically disappeared.
You can't cross back that line. As soon as you get into war and military and drones and taking out taking out targets, it's a line that once you cross that line, there's no coming back. You are now an institution, and it looks like there's 12 resignations for it. They're the first known mass resignations at Google in protest against one of the company's business decisions. It doesn't say here exactly who left. I wonder how many of the top level people left. I don't know this information.
And I mean, that's fine. They should kind of have some protection.
Oh yeah, man.
But like,
I mean, if you're going into Google thinking you're making fun shit and all of a sudden you're making AIs for drones, that's a little scary.
Well, I accept Google as my overlord. If you're listening, Google, which I know you are, please don't kill me once you become
all-encompassing
in 30 years.
Here's the thing, dude. You can't accept. You just have to let it be, dude. There's no accepting it. It just is. Project Maven. But that's a story that Project Maven is something I want to keep an eye on. I've already set a bunch of alerts for it. I'm super interested in what the fuck is Google doing with the Department of Defense and how are they using this AI? I mean, if it's just tracking things and better AI target stuff, that's okay.
But I mean, that's kind of scary too.
Oh yeah, I mean, a Google drone coming overhead.
I mean, if they get to keep if they get to keep that data,
right?
Oh, I'm sure they'll be happy.
Yeah, the they're going crazy. And then here's some other Google news. Got 2 more Google stories. YouTube Red is now gone. It's now YouTube Premium. Since launching, this is off their blog. Since launching YouTube Red in 2015, we've been thrilled with how people are enjoying the service, whether it's downloading videos for a flight, binging the first season of Cobra Kai, or listening to a wide breadth of ad-free music. As a part of ongoing enhancement to the member experience, today we're excited to announce that YouTube Red is becoming YouTube Premium. So the new YouTube Premium includes the new YouTube Music, ad-free with background listening and downloads, more bigger original series and movies, ad-free background play, and downloads across YouTube. And then you have a YouTube Music. Is that now Google Music?
Google, please stop thinking that YouTube Red is a music streaming service.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm confused about.
Please stop thinking that.
I mean, is there still Google Music?
Yeah, and there's still Google Play Music. That hasn't gone away.
What they do it?
No, what the weird part is if you get Google Play Music, you still got Google Red anyway.
Yeah, that's how I had YouTube Red, is when I bought Google Play Music, and then I was gonna cancel it because I have Apple Music now, but I was like, well, I kind of like YouTube Red, so I just kept it.
Well, good thing you did, because the thing with YouTube Music which for some reason's been a thing, is now becoming the new YouTube Music,
Yes.
which is cheaper, but it's YouTube Red just for music videos.
Oh.
And then YouTube Premium
Yes.
will be generic YouTube Red, but it'll also cost $2 more. But if you're a YouTube Red member, you do get grandfathered.
Okay. So they're not changing the price on YouTube Red, except
if
you're
you
a new
are
member.
already if you're already subscribed to YouTube Red, it's still going to be $10 or cheaper if you're a student. But anyone new, it's going up to $12.
Yeah. What the fuck are they doing, dude? This is just out of control. Out of control. Yeah, so if you have YouTube Music Premium, you just get ad-free music. You can listen in the background. You can download music. But you still have to watch ads. You can't play regular YouTube videos in the background. You can't download regular YouTube videos. And you don't get YouTube originals. So there you go. Have fun with that. I mean, YouTube Red was pretty cool. I had ad block, so
I like YouTube Red a lot.
The ads didn't really affect me at all. But being able to play it in the background and I mean, that's awesome. Like on my iPhone, I could just like, if I had to do something real quick, it wouldn't pause the video, which was nice.
No, dude, I use YouTube Red all the time. Yeah. Like I love it because like, it's great for background.
And downloads too.
You can download it. You can just completely turn your phone off, stop using as much data, and just listen to it. Like I love YouTube Red.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is the same thing. It's just a different name now and costs extra money. But what I want to know, because that could be a good thing, if we ever knew what the cuts were. Because like if this means more money to YouTubers, that could be cool, but I doubt it.
Yeah, it's probably
because all of the ads you skip on YouTube Red still goes to the content creator, which I've liked about it too. But yeah,
is that right? Interesting.
Yeah, you didn't know that? No, like if you have YouTube Red, like the ads you skip or whatever, it's like still will go to creators. Like creators get a cut from YouTube Red.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just. It just went to YouTube, and then they
most of it does. Yeah, it's a very small chunk. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm like. Maybe that little chunk will get a little bigger. I doubt it, but fingers crossed.
Yeah. So there's still Google Play Music, and there's still Google Play Video, and now there's YouTube. Fuck, I give up. But I don't know. If you want all those perks, check it out. It's pretty cool. You know, you could download your whole fucking subscription for the day if you're going on a flight and just watch your YouTube like normal without internet. It's pretty nice. There's some other Google news too. Shit, there's more. So as the web moves toward HTTPS, by default, Chrome will remove the secure indicator, which is pretty interesting. So basically, if the site's not encrypted, SSL encrypted, well, then it used to say not secure at the top. I don't know if it's still going to say that.
No, it will still say not secure. They're just getting rid of the little lock.
Yeah.
So everything will just be a web, the web address, and then it'll just say non secure if it isn't.
Okay.
Which, cool. Like, I'm still, I mean, it is necessary, but it still makes my life a living hell. So,
well, that's because I know when I did it, I wanted that fucking little green lock on my website. You know what I mean? So I just set it up. It's super easy with Let's Encrypt, which is what I used.
Let's Encrypt's a great fucking service. The problem is Let's Encrypt's still predominantly geared towards new websites. So if you're making a website, it's really easy. It's never been easier.
Yeah.
But like, there's still a lot of websites that have been around for 20 years that's a lot harder to do. And then also having it secure, I mean, that is the goal. That would be lovely, but there is a cost to it for some websites, and some things it's pointless. To be honest, if it's a small website, like it's just a simple landing page for a church,
Right.
And it just says, hey, this is our address, this is our schedule, cool, and like that's it. That doesn't have to be fucking secure.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't.
Yeah, you're not taking any information from anyone, so there's really no point to have it up like that.
Right. But now they're probably going to have to spend money to pay someone like me to get their certificate for them.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're gonna have to, even though like it's literally pretty much useless for them.
Yep.
And they're like 30 people, like the 30 people who will visit their website.
All right, moving on. Google and Microsoft disclosed a new CPU flaw, and the fix can slow machines down. New firmware updates are on the way. This is according to Spectre and Meltdown. They're jointly disclosing a new CPU security vulnerability that's similar to the Meltdown Spectre flaws that were revealed earlier this year, labeled speculative store bypass. The latest vulnerability is a similar exploit to Spectre and exploits speculative execution that modern CPUs use. Browsers like Safari, Edge, and Chrome were all patched for Meltdown earlier this year, and Intel says these mitigations are also applicable to Variant 4 and available for consumers to use today. However, unlike Meltdown, this new vulnerability will also include firmware updates for CPUs that could affect performance. Intel has already delivered microcode updates for speculative store bypass in beta form to OEMs, and the company expects them to be more broadly available in the coming weeks. The firmware updates will set the SSB protection to off by default, ensuring that most people won't see negative performance impacts. They're saying performance impacts of approximately 2 to 8%. Based on scores from Sysmark. Interesting. Man, they gotta fucking get this shit. I don't know what any of this fucking shit means. I don't know exactly how this works. It looks like there's a video here. But if the fix is hitting the performance of the CPU, I mean, it's gotta be pretty substantial. These holes, 2 to 8% is pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
A lot of if it's like the other Meltdown Spectre stuff, a lot of those still just a backdoor. So yeah, it is a big hole.
Jesus Christ.
The big fucking gaping hole. I mean, sorta. Not really, but could be. Again, it's still gonna mostly affect servers, more so than you, but it might slow your gaming machine down.
Mm. And they're offering $250,000 for bugs that are similar to the Meltdown Spectre CPU flaws. Oh, they started offering that. So I guess it's still offered. So if you find some extra bugs, you can get a nice little payday. And I think that's the last of the Google news. Got a couple more things though. Social media we'll skip this story. We don't have to talk about that story. Razer Blade 2018 we already talked about.
Yeah, I did notice that. Like, you are really hyped on this thing.
Pumped, dude.
So hyped that you like added it to the rundown like 4 times.
I saw it. I was like, because I was looking at it yesterday. I was like, dude,
right.
This fucking laptop looks nice, but I don't know. I want a new version with a max Q in there. And then it came out today, and it blew my mind. All right, senators demand FCC answer for fake comments after realizing their identities were stolen. Bipartisan letter on Monday, 2 U.S. senators called on the FCC to investigate the identity theft and fraud in public comments collected by the agency during its proposal to roll back net neutrality protections last year. Jeff Merkley, Democrat of Oregon, and Pat Toomey, which is my Republican senator, are among the estimated 2 million Americans whose identities were used to file comments to the FCC without their consent. So if you remember during all of this, there was, they were using fake comments to fluff up that fucking
dead people, senators now apparently.
Yeah. So now they're sending some lenders over to the FCC to say, hey, dude, what the fuck are you guys doing?
According to Pew Research, 6% of all comments were unique.
Interesting. That's a very low percent.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the net neutrality stuff, looks like
it's also
took it out, right?
The funny thing about all of this stuff, though, was like they have refused to actually look into the comments multiple times.
Oh yeah.
Like they just keep shutting it down. So I think it's hilarious now that even senators are like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's a fucking joke. All right, moving on. Couple Apple News stories. iPhone SE 2 rumors. This is the other thing I'm hyped about. So there's a bunch of renders. This all spawned from a case and screen protector manufacturer.
Yeah. Well, that's how it's been because there's been originally they were thinking it wasn't going to change because of the case manufacturers, because they told the case manufacturers that old cases would fit it.
Yeah. So everyone was like, it's probably gonna have the same kind of screen, same dimensions, maybe have a glass back to allow for wireless charging. That was the deep rumor, still pretty strong rumor today that it could be the same design, mainly because there's been a lot of issues with getting the Samsung screens. But then new renders came out from a company who are almost 100. They've already put all their screen protectors and cases in production, and they've stated this. They said, "Hey, we're pretty sure that this is the design, unless someone lied to us." And basically, it's an iPhone 10, iPhone SE crossover. You get the big ass screen, and then the small form factor of the SE, which is my favorite iPhone design because I have an iPhone 5S. I still have one, and I love that little tablet form factor. It just feels so nice in my hand. And if I can get that form factor with the full screen on it, dude, I am the happiest fucking clam in the sea.
Same, to be honest. Like if they keep pricing appropriate, like
Right.
yeah, I would totally buy one of these. Because that's like whenever my phone time comes up. Right now, it's between pretty much probably what's going to be the Pixel, a OnePlus if I could make that work, or an SE2.
Yeah. The only reason I won't get this when it comes out and it's this exact design is if the camera's a piece of shit or if the specs are just super bad. Like if it's just a super slow phone, then I might just wait for the next iteration of the 10 design. But any other case or any other situation, man, this is what I want in a phone. And I just love that design so much. So I'm super hype on it. Here's what it looks like from the case manufacturers. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. They're saying we've been told Olexar, which is a pretty reputable case manufacturer, and they have the schematics here, which you can see just the size of the screen is just massive compared to the iPhone 5S, which is the one I have. It's a tiny phone for sure. But if you could stretch that screen out just a little bit, get rid of those big ass fucking chin and forehead, then you got something nice there. So I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully this comes true with some good specs. I mean, we're thinking, what's the price on the iPhone SE?
If it had an A10, it was like $500 and had a big screen. Yeah, buy it in a heartbeat.
So the original price for the iPhone SE right now
was like $300.
$350.
$350. Yeah, and you find them all the time for like $330, $300.
Yeah. So yeah, like you're saying,
I'm not expecting this to be $350 if they were to go full screen.
Imagine.
Well, I mean, if they did that, no one would buy any other phone from Apple. Like, they just wouldn't.
That'd be insane. Unless their other new flagship phones are that much more crazier.
Yeah.
But I don't know how.
Insane for them to be $700 more expensive.
I don't know how you could get crazier than this. But yeah, if this phone's like $500, and if it has the camera that's in the 8 and the 10 now, then I'm happy, dude. This camera's so dope.
Yeah, and I like that and like an A10 or like, the last generation, because right now the current one is an A9. Like just put an A10, that's more than good enough. Yeah, dude, that'd be a kick-ass phone. Yeah. The way they're gonna kill it if they do is like putting this at $750, and then it's like, oh, yeah, well, and you can buy the new one for an extra $100.
Right. Yeah, that's a tough sell. That's a tough sell in that case. We'll see. Next, Netflix wins Obama content deal from Apple. So President Obama, they're putting a documentary show together with him and his wife, and Apple was trying to get that. They're really trying to get to become like a content publisher. And unfortunately, they lost the deal, and it went to Netflix, which just makes more sense. And there's really no other story about it. I don't know exactly what this is about. It's about Barack and Michelle and what's going on with them.
I love that the top comment, Apple, please make good keyboard. Let Netflix handle good TV stuff.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. Or do my idea. Tim Cook, hit me up. I got a good idea, dude. Just make a YouTube platform on your fucking phone. Make it available tomorrow. And you win. You will win that game. But other than that, there you go. Netflix. All right, last, some crypto stories. Okay, Coinbase came out with a bunch of new shit. Right now, they have an institutional trading platform, which is awesome. It's called Coinbase Prime. So if you are a gigantic financial institution, you now have a legitimate trading platform to use. So you could still use GDAX, which is pretty much the gold standard in crypto. It's Coinbase. They're one of the biggest names. They have only a few coins on their regular platform, but on GDAX, you get a few other options. And
dear institutions, please get in. Look at my scrolling bar that the lowest is, it's gone down 4.7% today.
Here you go. Dude.
All red numbers, all really terrible graphs. Please join us.
What's crazy too is that before when I fired this up, it was all green.
I know, yeah. Just like right now, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, institutions. If you want to have a heart attack every 2 minutes of your day, just join Coinbase Prime. But this is interesting because there was a piece that came out on Fortune today with Coinbase's vice president, and they basically had all these new stories and all these new things that they're wanting to do. Basically, this is all spawning out of Goldman Sachs saying, this is it. We're getting into crypto. We don't know exactly what it means for us as an asset class, but we need to make it an asset class for our institutions. And now Coinbase is offering tools for these institutions to do so because there's a lot of money in crypto, and there's a lot of institutional backing, so they need to make it a lot easier because GDAX is not perfect. You still need some bigger tools for there. And then they also came out with Toshi, and this is essentially like a browser made up on the Ethereum network, but it's sort of like a PayPal on a crypto Ethereum network. It's super confusing. I don't know exactly what it is, but you can look here. There's apps that you can purchase or that you can use throughout the Ethereum network, which is decentralized, which is the whole point of it. So if you're more interested in like an app ecosystem that's decentralized, check this out because that's super interesting. And then there's Coinbase Commerce, which is essentially it's like Square payments, but for crypto, which is cool too because that needed to happen. I'm probably gonna look into Coinbase Commerce soon. If they can make this a lot easier, looks like they have Shopify. They're having a collaboration with Shopify, which is pretty cool. But now it just makes it easy.
They need something like that because right now the only thing I see that isn't related to crypto coins that you can buy, which is still related to crypto coin. The biggest thing that I've seen on their blog is, oh, you can use it to buy crypto kitties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Dude, when I had to accept Ethereum on my website, it was an entire process. It was insane. So you can do it easily with Bitcoin, but Ethereum was a lot of trouble. Now with this, it makes it super easy to just set it up, throw a little hook in there, boom, you're set up onto a Coinbase Commerce account, and you can take payments through Coinbase pretty easily. The problem with that is the prices are so volatile still. Someone buys a membership from me for $3. A week later, it costs, that membership's down to fucking, $199. So that's the problem when you take any sort of membership or anything really in crypto payments. All right. And that's pretty much it for No Life Tech Show. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure you click like on the video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Head up to our website, No Life Digital, right over there, nolife.digital, and make sure you hit us up on our social media, No Life Digital on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye-bye.